a lot of you are going to be new to this. And first of all, let me introduce to myself. My legal name is 420 Jim. No, I didn't have real cool parents that named me that. After being on the road a few years, I was dubbed that through the newspapers because my first name used to be Jim. Now it's my last. And the newspapers started calling me 420 Jim. You know, kind of like this article here. And that's back in 2020. Anyhow, let's get back to the main part of these videos here. And it's a shame that I got to make them. But I've got a couple trolls that are, you know, trying to badmouth me, my family, and everything else out there. And finally, the truth is coming out, and it's coming through. But I want to lead you up to this. Okay, you're going to hear a half a dozen phone calls or so, which, of course, he had no idea that I would ever get a hold of these conversations. I never knew I would. That's all up to the good Lord above. Now, it's very, very important. Hey, how you doing, Ricky? It's very, very important that you understand the characters involved, okay? The first one is Scott Winslow Albert. He goes by Woody LePage, okay? Now, I'm going to play these things, and I'm going to stop and start it and comment on it, you know? But here's a guy that I think you will see took it as his personal mission to try and destroy my life. And it all started when he was outside of my motorhome mouthing off to me. Now, he says that I ran into the motorhome and all kinds of stupid stuff. I mean, just please, you know, bear with me. Listen to the stories and stuff. Watch these video stuff and think about it. Just use your head. None of it makes sense. He talks about how he called the Howard County healing fields and what a great veteran he is and this, that, and the other. Well, he's nothing but a liar. And his own voice is going to tell you that, okay? Now, him and a guy named Steve Sprague up there in Rochester, New Hampshire, got together and started making these videos trying to get people against me. And they got this one lady called Rhonda in Topeka. They had her totally fooled, thinking that I was this bad guy and all. She is the one that he is talking to in these calls. She is the one that gave me all these calls. I can't count how many times she has apologized to me about what she done, that she was fooled. And she was so sorry. Now, just her giving me phone calls should prove that point. But let's just make this clear. First of all, I believe in Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior, and I'm not ashamed to say that. And I like to hand out, I can't find none. I got to spit some out, but, oh, there's one. I like to hand out these little Jesuses on my mission. Now, on one of the phone conversations, I don't know, probably the 7th one or whatever, and we're not going to do them all this time. He's going to say how he don't believe in Jesus or nothing. And that's cool. That's cool. I know they don't, because I do, and I will never bear false witness against thy brothers, a neighbor, or no one. That's on them. So, needless to say, hey, what's up? Needless to say, no, but God created cannabis, my friend. And if you go to Exodus 30:23, you will find out that it was in the anointing oil. Yeah. Hemp fuel, hemp paper, hemp clothing can change our world. Every car can run off of hemp fuel. Quit fighting over electric. That's bullshit. Do you like Henry Ford? Yeah, the hemp engine. 1 acre makes 300 gallons of burnable fuel. Get rid of plastic. Send all that shit to the sun. Okay? We don't need plastic. Anything made of hemp, plastic can be made of hemp. You talk about be sober-minded. You think I'm smoking pot. See, that's in your mind. Okay? So, anyhow, I know the Lord better than you do. And you can take that to the bank or not. I don't care. Don't have to be a medical patient, my friend. But anyhow, this ain't about that and whatnot. This is about an idiot troll that thinks he can do whatever he wants. And back years ago, I was asked to be the voice of the vets. I'm not a vet. I never proclaimed to be a vet. But years back, I was asked to come to Indiana and come to a Vietnam veterans reunion. And first thing I did was say, yo, man, I'm not a vet, da, da, da. Oh, no, this is open to the public. We want you here. We want your dog here and all. Okay, well, cool. And I did, because it was for veterans. Now, one thing you got to understand, we got lots of wonderful, 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 wonderful vets in this world, and I love them all. I even love the bad ones. But just like cops, preachers, or anything, there's good and bad in everything. And I just so happen to have a bad veteran that's trying to use his veteran powers and stuff to mess with me. And all I ask is, listen to every side of the story. Because, see, they got this campaign out there smearing me and my name and what I do and all. And this Scott Winslow Albert is acting like he's doing nothing. Well, I happen to have him admitting that he's made false accounts and everything else. And listen, this is just the first tape, and this one will involve the Howard County healing fields and the extent that he went to have them say that I'm not allowed there no more. Now, of course, I will be taking the healing fields to court this year probably, because I want to get that all settled up. Let me find the one that I need to here. 6, 5, 4, 3. I think this one's it.
Okay, Rhonda, yeah, you don't need to look for healing field videos. Actually, the one that you sent me was good enough. I'm going to have some fun with that one tonight, I think. Here's the thing. Because Steve asked me about healing fields, and man, that was like an hour and a half long conversation. There was a lot. Jim come out with this voice of the vets and healing fields and blah, blah, blah. And, at the time that he was doing this, Shirley and I were watching the videos going, wait, this guy belongs to a Vietnam veterans organization, and they're talking about me and my service like this. I mean, he really truly had vets looking for me. I understand now that it was Bryson that was making comments, and
I never had no vets looking for Scott Winslow Albert. He stood outside of my motorhome yelling and hollering at me. But later on in the videos, you'll hear his lies about that. He said that he had it all on film, yet he's never produced 1 minute of film. You'll hear where he says he has it all on film. I've got on film. He don't. Just like he keeps harping about this eBay auction thing. Well, someone keeps interrupting me. Hang on. Okay, well, you can go bye-bye, Geo Interesting, because I'm just, if you want to keep on that instead of my story, you can just go on about your business. Nobody cares. Thank you. Goodbye. You're a fake Christian. You're goodbye. Have a good one. So anyhow, some people don't like the fact that cannabis is good for you. Oh, I thought you said goodbye. Oh, see, you're a false one. Yes, I love Jesus. I hand out these little figurines. And if you want to troll my page, you go right ahead. Every comment is another one in the algorithm. Go ahead. We will wait for you to do this. I got all day to make what my point and my comments. Go ahead. We're waiting on you. Go ahead. I forgive you. You can make all your comments you want. But see, you're doing what Jesus don't want people to do. I'm not judging you. I don't judge you. Here you're judging me that I'm a apostle, I'm this, I'm that, and you don't know one thing about me. Therefore, you're telling me you don't know nothing about Jesus. Oh, absolutely. Well, like I say, one of these tapes, Woody, Scott Winslow Albert, which uses many false names, could be this guy, you never know, will tell you from his own lips that he don't believe in Jesus. And that's cool. But you have all these false people coming here talking about you, and they're just as false as can be. Yeah, see, he just one of the haters. Anyhow, let's get back to the conversation. We just ignore him. I don't want to block him because see all of his stupid comments. Everyone helps the algorithm, and that's what I want to build up. I don't care if it takes 3 hours to hear this. This is my time. I've got him now.
But the thing is, see, Jim knew that wasn't me.
Now he says I knew that wasn't him. I have no way in the world of knowing who was who because it was all done over the phone. And from beginning to end, you're going to see that Scott Winslow Albert started everything, just like I said. Now, Bryson acts like he can't remember when he got in on it. Well, I can prove when he got in on it. He pretended to be Officer Daniels of the Greenburgh Police Department when I thought that was Woody, right? That all goes back. I mean, I got people on my Facebook page that back this up 100%. So that means he's been in on it ever since the beginning. Bryson had. He's the one, and he admitted to me. I mean, I still talk with Bryson. That's another one that was doing this along with them. And the one that really carried it too far. But he also apologized. He will go to court and testify against Scott and these other people. And he actually donated $600 to help me get back to my family. That's how sorry he was about what he done in all of this. Okay? I didn't know that it was Scott Winslow Albert at all. He said he was. He kept using the Woody LePage and all. What am I supposed to think? Okay? Now, when Scott Winslow Albert found out that it was really Bryson, how come he never come forward or went to the police and said, yo, man, this is the guy that he's talking about that's been acting like it's me? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Bryson told me. Because he just thought it was funny. He thought what they were doing to me was funny. And it all goes back to if he was never outside my motorhome, yada, 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 none of this could have ever happened. And he actually admits to all this, except he says that he has a camera when he comes up. Well, nowhere in that video is there where he has a camera. So I'd love for him to prove where this video is. No one has ever seen it. He tells Rhonda about it and whatnot, but me or no one has ever seen this so-called video, just like how they got one of me trying to rape Monica and this, that, and the other. They got all this stuff, but they've never produced one evidence about it. Not one.
Jim knew from the beginning that wasn't me. Jim's known from the very, very get-go that I'm not the one. That's why, Shirley and I think that's why they're not mentioning my name anymore, because
if I knew who it was, I would have had them go after them, right? I'm not here to accuse somebody that's not doing it, but Scott Winslow Albert started that. And then Bryson, okay, he's the one that went in right after that because, like I say, he pretended to be Officer Daniels. And I've also got it where Woody LePage, let's call him Woody, his real name's Scott Winslow Albert, the decorated vet, says he forgive Bryson and everything, and it's crazy. Let's go on.
Now that Bryson's come out, he can't do it. He's trying to just kind of let it go away. It ain't going away. So anyways, I contacted HCVBO. Okay, I found them. I looked them up. I realized they were a legit organization.
Here's a veteran, a super veteran. He's going to tell you for all these years and whatnot. And he lived less than 100 miles from, well, it's not even nowhere near that. It's like 20, 30 miles. He lived in Indian, well, it might be more than that from Indianapolis. Don't take me on that. But he's this great super vet, an honor guard, everything else. And he never knew about the Howard County healing fields. He lived in that state and all and never knew about it. Wow. That's something. I never lived in that state, wasn't a vet, and how did I know about it? He says that I just crashed their party with Bill Lemon. He also admits where Jimmy Shaw invited me to there.
They're right up here north of me. I've never heard of them before. That was about 95 miles north of me in Kokomo. So I got on the website. I found all the board members. I sent every single one of them a freaking message. I sent every single one of them a message.
There he admits that he got a hold of everyone on the Howard County Healing Fields board and sent him a message. And now he's going to have to back up that message, as he said.
And I had one board member hit me back and said, you need to contact Jim, the president. The second person that hit me back was their financial secretary. And she was a great lady.
On that point, the one that hit him back, the financial secretary. Of course, I got to file the papers this year, but I am going to sue this organization because I need to know this lady's name and all, because I want to personally sue her and Jim Profit if what this statements these guys say are true. Now, I'm not saying they're true at all. I know that Howard County Healing Field lady's not supposed to discuss anything of anybody for any business, especially to a non-member. Now, he plainly states that I was an honorary member. I was, lifetime. Cost me $150. He lies and says they gave me the money back. Nobody gave me no money back, no nothing. You know, I have no reason to lie about any of this. But what he did was just totally lie to the Howard County Healing Fields, and they wouldn't listen to me. Jim Profit didn't want to talk. None of them would listen to me. They all thought this guy was just high and mighty and what a wonderful guy he was and everything. But keep on listening.
I sent some messages. Her and I ended up. She sent me an email, which is what you got. And then when it continued on, we ended up on the phone.
Now, supposedly he got an email from the Howard County Healing Fields saying that I'm not allowed on the property. My membership had been revoked. They refunded me my money, and my motorhome was never to be allowed on that property again. Okay. Then later on, he'll say how I was going to give this to a vet, which I was, until the auction got messed up, which I've never claimed. I have a paper from the auction saying it was Scott Winslow Albert. That's all pure lie. He, in another call, he keeps asking Rhonda to find the video where I'm flashing papers saying I got his name from eBay. That's a lie. It never happened. That's why there's no video. That never, ever, ever happened. They tell themselves so many lies, they believe this stuff happened. There's no video. That's why it never happened. He himself talks about all these other videos that he's got, and none of them ever appear. Hang on, I just messed up on that one. I got to get back to where I was. Sorry about that.
Okay, it continued on. We ended up on the phone. Jim knew from the beginning that wasn't me.
Okay.
Jim known from the very, very get-go that I'm not the one. That's why Shirley and I think that's why they're not mentioning my name anymore, because now that Bryson's come out, he can't do it. He's trying to just kind of let it go away. It ain't going away.
I had no reason to mention Scott Albert's name after that. Once Bryson come out and said that he was continuing it on, fine. And I've always said that if I was wrong of who it was, that I apologize and stuff. But, you know, they want to whine and cry about, I put pictures about them in the window and stuff. I warned them before I did anything what I was going to do if they didn't just leave me alone. Now, had he not continued this and done this, none of this could have happened.
So anyways, I contacted HCVBO. Okay, I found them. I looked them up. I realized they were a legit organization. They're right up here north of me. I've never heard of them before. That was about 95 miles north of me in Kokomo. So I got on the website. I found all their board members. I sent every single one of them a freaking message. I sent every single one of them a message. And I had one board member hit me back and said, you need to contact Jim, the president. The second person that hit me back was their financial secretary, and she was a great lady. I sent some messages. Her and I ended up. She sent me an email, which is what you got. And then when it continued on, we ended up on the phone. Her and I sat on the phone we sat on the phone for about an hour and a half.
Hold on to that thought. Him and her sat on the phone an hour and a half. Listen to what comes up next about how she's not even supposed to talk to a non-member. And he was not a member at this time or nothing. So now he just implicated the secretary of the Howard County Healing Fields as conspiring against me on this stuff. Right or wrong, his own words. She talked to him and discussed things about me for an hour and a half. Is that true? I mean, I'm not going to say it's true. I'd like to hear this lady's side of the story. If it's true and this letter exists and all, then the Howard County Healing Field has some answering to do. Because they accused me of selling T-shirts and all kinds of stuff that never, ever happened at the Healing Fields. And mine and Mr. Prophet's discussion was when they told him I was using the Healing Fields name. And that never happened.
And talked, and she told me, and I wasn't even a member. She's like, you're not a member. I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff with you. I said, well, you don't have to.
You're not a member. I'm not supposed to talk to you about this. And he tells her, you don't have to. But supposedly she talked to him an hour and a half.
She spilled the beans for an hour and a half. So he went up there and he pissed some people off. So he got up there and he was asking for donations. There was an incident. I think Shirley made
another solid lie. Anytime I'm at the Healing Fields, sure, there's a donation jar out there next to my markers. But there's veterans and family. And if the family wants to make a donation, they can make a donation. But anybody out there, and there's one guy that's out there all the time at camp next to me. Any honest vet out there will tell you, Robin, he's going to mention her later, will tell you, I did not sell my T-shirts there. They were never out there for sale. And I did not ever charge a veteran to tag the motorhome or nothing. Beg no donations. That's all a lie.
He knows a little bit more about it than I do. He claims he befriended somebody up there. It was an elderly vet, a guy within a wheelchair, fixed income, this and that. A guy within like his 90s. There's something about.
Okay, now see, he involved his girlfriend, Shirley Borgen, there. Later on, her child gets involved, too, with a Corey matter. It's a shame that he's getting all these people involved. But the truth does come out eventually. But according to him, she has no problem with him doing this now, that she's part of it. But that's according to him. But he's describing a gentleman named Mr. Chambers, Mr. Terry Chambers. Now, he twisted this whole story, okay? I never met Mr. Chambers at the Healing Fields that I know of or whatnot. The time that I met Mr. Chambers was at a veterans hospital. They were doing an event outside of the Veterans Hospital. Him, a church called the Higher Fellowship, Bill Evans' rivals, all these guys' rivals, were doing an event and asked me to join. And I'm like, sure. And I did. See, I only come where people ask me to come. Period. It's always been that way. And that's where I met Mr. Chambers. And now, whether he didn't know that I was for recreational and what I stand for, that's on him and anyone else, because I've never hid nothing from no one. But Mr. Chambers didn't have any problem with me. He gave me a camera so I could document, my travels, this, that, and the other. I got emails where a few times he asked me, are you going to use the camera? And I tried to let him know that it's really not made for this and whatnot, what. And he said, well, I might want it back to give to, and that's cool. Well, sure enough, at the Vietnam Veterans event that I was not allowed to attend, okay, a guy named Hacksaw was running then. Boom, I wasn't allowed to come or nothing. I'd never done nothing wrong. But they refunded me my $100 and my $40 camping that year. That's not the year they didn't refund me. That was the year before. And I parked outside the fence. And he says all this. But Mr. Chambers was not a 90-year-old guy that couldn't help himself or nothing. Okay, now he was handicapped. He was medically whatever. But he was a good, great, wonderful guy. And if he heard what Scott Winslow Albert was saying about him, he would have got out of that wheelchair and just slapped the holy shit out of him. I swear to that. Mr. Chambers would get out of that wheelchair, stand up and slap the holy shit for the slander that he is saying about Mr. Chambers and his family. because I never, ever in my life disrespected Mr. Chambers and or his family. And I only speak about it when these idiots keep bringing it up and lying about me. But that's how they got to Howard County Healing Fields and Chambers family all mad at me. You know, they say that I was a poor defenseless guy. No, Mr. Chambers, his family will tell you, was no poor 90-year-old broke defenseless guy like he makes him sound out. He makes him sound like some homeless vet that I met at the healing field. And that was not Mr. Chambers at all. So I hope the Chambers family hear this and what he has saying and what he does say about Mr. Chambers and all, and how he pours on them lies. Because I you know, he says that I say how me and Mr. Chambers was buddies and whatnot. No, I've never said that. We were friends. I went to his event. He went to mine. When they lied to him and told him that I was taken away from his medical thing and his campaign and everything, that I was such a bad person and all, that's when he came with 2 other people outside the healing fields to my RV and asked for his camera back. And I'm like, sure, no problem. I'm going to post on Facebook that I gave it back. He blew a gasket about that. Why? I wasn't going to say nothing bad. But as soon as he blew a gasket, he stood up in that chair. That's why I know he would have knocked the shit out of Woody. If Woody was to say this to his face. He stood up out of his chair next to them 2 guys, and you could just see him, you know, he thought I was going to say something bad. I'm like, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir, no. I'm not making any post whatsoever. You know, you got me wrong on that. It wasn't going to be nothing bad. You won't make that. I said, no, sir, I will not make any post. And I didn't. And never made a post after that about that. So I've kept my word to Mr. Chambers until they bring all this bullshit out and everything. And now they're making him sound like he was a helpless veteran and whatnot. And he was far from that. He was a great man, a decorated man, and I can proud to say that I was his friend until he passed. I'm sure of that. Now, whether his family knows that or whether Scott Winslow Albert will, you know, that don't matter. The good Lord above knows my heart and everything that happened. But let's continue on. Enough about that one there.
Jim borrowed a camera off of him, or...
I borrowed a camera. I never borrowed nothing. No, he gave me one. See, he don't even know the real story, but he tells them like he was right there.
Or Jim claims the guy gave him the camera, but anyways, you know, the guy passed, and people were calling Jim out for using him, right? And the guy, and so Jim's like, no, we were friends, we were buddies, we were.
No one was calling me out. I think I had a call from the Chambers' son or something like that. And I tried to set him, and I told him, you know, you come talk to me, man, whatever. This is just bullshit. And it was. You know, it's crazy. The only one that's been calling anyone out or doing anything is Scott Winslow Albert. And here it comes from his own voice.
We were best friends. We were, oh, no, that man loved me. Well, the man's not here to defend himself. So there's some unanswered questions about...
And see, that's why they're using that. That man's not here to defend himself. I never said he was loved and we was best buddies or none of that. This guy just has to exaggerate on everything he says. Read between the lines, folks.
Jim treating this guy dirty. You know, the guy's in a wheelchair. He's in his 90s. He's got no money. You know, it's like they know it's his last time that he's going to be able to make it there. And Jim's taking advantage of the guy. So.
I didn't take advantage of him at all. Now, he did pass. And the next year, I was welcomed back at the healing fields. I was allowed to park down at the other area and everything. They told me I could join and be a member, and I paid them $150. That's the $150 to this day I've never gotten back. And I'm supposed to be a member, a lifetime member of that organization. And if I'm not, then they've got some explaining to do. Because that no one did nothing. There was no altercations or nothing. Jimmy Shaw, which I have on video, tried to say something about me and doing something to Mr. Chambers at that event. He walked up to me and tried, and I had him on live camera. And I told, well, yo, you're talking about Mr. Chambers and all and how that never happened or nothing? They know it's nothing but a solid lie, and their lies caught up to them.
Somehow. So there's some weirdness there. So, he's up there trying to collect donations. He started some drama up there. They did not tell him that he was the voice of the vets. Let's get that clear. The organization itself, under no circumstances, has ever recognized 420 Jim as the voice of the vets or their organization.
And that's true. But he leaves out the part I've never, ever, ever claimed that organization did. And that's why when Jim Prophet was, I've got lawyers and this, that, and the other, leave me alone. They don't scare me at all. And I'm going to go see them this year. They don't scare me at all because I'm so glad that I got these tapes and stuff. See, they wouldn't listen to me. They listened to this vet guy, which I understand, but that's like bad cops helping good cops. And you'll find out how he tells how they're all buddies and veteran friends and all. That comes into play here in a little bit.
There is this got to the point where 420 Jim called Jim Prophet, the president, and got him on the phone, and Jim told him, I got money and I got lawyers. You keep running your mouth about my organization and I'll sue your ass off. And that was it. Jim dropped it. That was it. He was,
See, he lies again there. Now, I did drop it, but not because Jim said he's got lawyers or anything like that. When I dropped it is when Robin, a veteran that I never thought ever would turn her back on me, did. Now, she hasn't lied, but she didn't want to get in the middle of it. And when she backed out and dropped out, he lies and said she was trying to get his record. Nobody wants his record. We can care less about his record. She was supposed to find out whether my membership was revoked or not and just tell the group, the truth of the matter. And listen to what he did to her and how he did it.
He's just, I don't know why. And then when Jim found out that he was no longer a member and that they had allowed me to join the organization, I am a member of HCBBO. Because I sent my discharge.
Now he forgets to tell you, when I found out, well, you know how I found out. The Howard County Healing Fields never sent me nothing saying, hey, you're no longer a member, you're no longer welcome here. Nothing. Everything was sent to me by Scott Winslow Albert. Not Bryson, but Scott Winslow Albert, that I wasn't welcome to the healing fields and this, that, and the other. He admits later on about fake accounts and stuff, and I've got screenshots of them too.
Charge papers, and I sent my paperwork in. They signed me up over the phone. And gave me my first year free. That's what my military records say. So, my military records are pretty decent. All right, they signed me up over the phone. All right, all Jim has to do is go down to an American Legion and.
And what the hell he's talking about, American Legion? I don't know. I don't go to American Legions and stuff. I came to the healing fields that veterans invited me to come to. When they told me that one year I wasn't allowed there, I stayed outside the gate. All I wanted was my refund. Okay? Then all of a sudden, I was allowed back at the healing fields. And then until Scott Winslow Albert started this, everything was good. We had a great event, that last event. I even brought 2 new people, Peggy Sue and Glenn. And we did pictures for Freelance Galore. Everything was great and fine. No one is harassed for donations or nothing. Not anything that he says that Jim Prophet threw me out about. All that can be proven a lie real easy.
Whatever. So anyways, I spent a lot of time on the phone with the financial secretary and then Jim Prophet, the president. He ended up calling me. He was mad.
And that would be a little unfair. None of them would talk to me. I asked them to just please send me a receipt that you sent me the money and this. They would not talk to me. Yeah. Now, of course, I was a little short and mad at them at first and whatnot, but of course they wouldn't listen to me. It was all lies this guy's saying. And that's kind of unfair that they do all this and they talk amongst them, their organization, and leave me out of it. Like nothing I say mattered at all.
Oh, he was so mad. He was fit to be tied.
Yeah.
And he clearly said, this man's not even a vet. He doesn't even understand vet stuff. And he's up here trying to get donations off disabled vet.
I want to hear that come out of Mr. Prophet's mouth. He right there openly stated that Jim Prophet said that I was up there and trying to get donation off the vets and stuff, and that I wasn't a vet and whatnot. I need to hear that from Mr. Prophet's mouth, because I don't think Mr. Prophet said that at all.
The video that you sent, you saw somebody in the comments say, hey, this isn't a party. Well, he's right. It's a very solemn event. It's a very, very solemn event. Death in the military is taken very serious. Okay? Funerals and things like that. Goddamn. See, I am an honorary.
He only tells half truths. Yes, it's a solemn event. Death is tragedy and whatnot. They have the open ceremony of the day, which I've helped take the flag out and stuff. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. I wish everybody could experience it all. But after that, it's party on. Okay, come on. Drunk people driving all around in golf carts with blow-up dolls, and every camp you go to, there's moonshine and pot and stuff. Come on now. It's one big weekend party for the vets. That's exactly what it is. And anybody that says any different is a liar. Not everybody drinks. Not everybody smokes. It's where all the veterans can get together and love one another and have fun. The only one that brought any drama to their name and their organization so far has been Scott Winslow Albert, not me.
Member of the Indiana Honor Guard. I was asked to join the Honor Guard. I know everybody.
Some honor guard.
Everybody on the team. If I showed you pictures of them in uniform, you'd be like, Woody, man, there ain't no way. I got some pretty decorated people that stand behind me. So, Jim doesn't understand that stuff. We're our own world that he will never understand. He doesn't speak for it. Same with the truckers. He's not a trucker. I come from a truck driving family. He doesn't understand. I come from a biker family. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand these things.
See right there? He talks about how they all stick up for themselves. It's not that I don't understand bikers are bikers, cops are cops, vets are vets. I understand it real well. But the truth is the truth and the lie is a lie. I don't care who you are, to protect someone else just because they're a vet when they're lying is wrong. Go justify that one to the Lord above. I'll wait. You'll be roasting in hell.
He's an outsider who thinks he's in. He's got, delusions of grandeur? Is that what that is? Something like that. He thinks he's Jesus and walking into a church barefoot talking, it's crazy. Okay? So what happened was they removed him from the property.
I have never, ever, ever been removed from the Howard County Healing Fields. That's another bald-faced lie. Now, I told you when I came there that one time, because I'd paid my camping and all. They never contacted me, never nothing. They said they sent me an email, but they didn't. I never got it. But that's needless to say. When I pulled in, they said, no, you don't have a spot. You can't, as far as we know, you can't camp here. I immediately pulled outside of the gate and parked on the side of the road like anybody else but 420 Jim, I guess, can. The Healing Fields had no problem with it, but according to Woody, they did. I walked in and went to the office and said, hey, I'm a member. Oh, no, here's your $100 back. And I'm like, well, what about the $40 I paid in advance for camping? Because, see, they told me I was allowed back at that event, and I'd paid in camping in advance. And finally, Hacksaw said, go back over there to the office. And he called on the radio, and they gave me the other $40. And I went outside. All this is on video on Facebook. Every bit of this is on Facebook. And it's awful funny how they can't find this paper where I supposedly said Woody LePage went. No, Woody Scott could have used his girlfriend's computer. He could have used anybody's IP address. I'm not saying he's the one that done it. Yes, he might have used someone else's computer, but it's only logic. He's the only one that done that, which it really don't matter, except it blew up. And that's why he's so mad, because it didn't work.
And, in the email, you see he parked outside, just outside the event where he was a pain in the ass, but couldn't stop him. Now, when all this was going on, there's a lady that was coming into Jim's lives. Her name was Robin. I can't remember her last name. She's in there making comments. Oh, I'll find out about him. I'll find out this. I'll do this. I'll do that. Well, I saw that. I'm saying, now see, what I did was before I even called these people, I checked their bylaws. Like I said, I checked the organization out. I found their bylaws. Their bylaws state that any member is not allowed, it is against the bylaws to make disparaging comments about a member, their family, or any other vet. So even if Jim was a member, once I became a member, I get to have him removed.
See how he connived to get all that together to have me removed as an honorary member? Now, the lady he's referring to, let me give you a little history on her. I don't remember her last name, Robin. And that's why I left the healing fields alone until now. And why now I am going to go press the lawsuit and stuff, because they're continuing this. And evidently I'm not allowed there or whatever, supposedly still. We're going to find out this year. But Robin is a good vet until she turned her back, the good cop, bad cop type thing. The only thing Miss Robin could tell you about me is that I'm a nice guy and that I don't lie, and I've done nothing to that healing fields. If you could honestly talk to her, I'm sure she'd tell you that. Okay? I hear help, a lady screaming in the middle of the night in the healing fields, and it was Robin. And her back had went out or whatever when she was in a Doniker. All I see is, and she was my friend, I knew who she was, and I just happened to be parked right next to her. Until the next day when I was told I had to move down to the, and she even asked him, hey, he helped me out, blah, 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 can't he stay here? And the people that owned that spot even told him, yeah, we said he could use our spot, we're not going to. No, they wouldn't have that. And that's when I helped the veteran and called her the ambulance, got her pants on for her, everything. She'd tell you that. I mean, there's video of that where she says it in the group. I mean, she brought that up about how she couldn't even pull up her own pants. Okay, that's the type of person he's talking about me. I went out there and helped her, got her dressed, got her in the ambulance, watched her motor home, her purse, her dog, and everything for her. Me. Not Scott Winslow Albert or nothing. And then he does this to her. Well, I understand now why it happened. Then I didn't understand. But now with this confession from him, I understand why Robin had to turn her back on me. And you will too.
I'd file a sanction, file a grievance against him. Okay? He would have been removed anyways. He's not a veteran. This organization is for veterans and their immediate family.
And he filed a grievance against me.
And they let him in. They let him in on a lifetime. Can you imagine that? Having a lifetime membership rescinded within 2 years.
Okay, now they might have changed it. I'm starting to look at the bylaws and stuff. They may have changed it to veterans only now. But back then, during this time and everything, it was open to the public. Now, I think I read that the cabin and stuff is not open to the public. I think it's got to be a member or immediate family. And if that's what happened, it's all due to Scott Winslow Albert and his lies.
Years. Lifetime membership. Didn't last 3 years. That tells you what kind of man he is. Well, you already know what kind of man he is. That tells you, how he was up there. Okay? So, anyways, this Robin chick, I'm like, who the hell is this lady, and why does she think she's going to get copies of my military records? You just don't get copies of my military records. You have to be my spouse. You have to be my child. You have to get them from me.
Like I say, that's delusion. She didn't want anything to do with his records. She wanted to know who filed the complaint against me, their name. That's all she wanted to do. Find that out from Jim Profit, because nobody would tell me who filed the complaint or nothing.
Me? You don't just get to go down here and get military records like that. Civilians don't get to do that. So I thought, who in the hell is this chick, and why is she telling Jim she's gonna find out all about me? Well, I called Jim Profit back, the president, and I said, I just did some research. I said, this lady is one of your board members. Robin just so happens to be a board member of this organization. and she's in Jim's life in his comments talking about how she's going to do this and do that. I'm telling you what, Jim fucking exploded on the phone. He fucking exploded. He said, "I am sorry. I'll take care of this. Don't." And he asked me, don't file a grievance. I'll take care of it. Because I told him I'm a member now. Now I'm a member. Get her taken care of, because this ain't.
Now, then here he accuses Jim Prophet of the Healing Fields of exploding on the phone over this because he was going to file a grievance, and Jim Prophet begged him not to file the grievance against Robin. Are you catching on? Because this is questions I'm going to put in front of a judge in court.
Cool, that's highly against the bylaws, and she's an officer. He said, "You're right." Now, so her and Jim had a falling out online because she wouldn't. Jim was like, "Well, go do. You said you were going to go get his records, and you said you were going to go do this," and she's like, "I can't." And they had a big falling out. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, my phone call made that happen.
And he's absolutely right. It did make it happen. She unfriended me. She had the choice. She anybody that was in my group or my Facebook page can tell you all that happened. Yeah. Robin is the one that volunteered to find out because she lived there. She was my friend. She knew all this was a lie. And she just wanted to find out why my membership was canceled, if I got a refund and stuff. Nothing about this guy's record. All that is nothing but bullshit and lies. And I hope Mr. Prophet gets to hear this and that secretary and stuff. And they start to put these lies together and they contact me. That would be a good thing to do.
I told him, if this woman comes into a live and says my name one more time, I'm coming up to Kokomo. I will come to a board meeting and I will stand in front of her. No, Mr. Albright, that won't be necessary. I'll get it taken care of. Thank you.
Okay, right there. He accuses Mr. Prophet that he was going to take care of everything because he was going to come up there personally to a board meeting.
That was it. That was it. You've never seen or heard from Robin since. She's nowhere to be found. So there's a lot there with Healing Field. That's where the Jimmy Shaw thing comes in. Jimmy Shaw is the one that invited him up there. Because
Jimmy Shaw, for a long time, said he never invited me there, which I've always said, yes, Jimmy Shaw, Bill Levin, and them were all in on this. Right there from the horse's mouth. Jimmy Shaw is the one that invited him there. He was the MC, the head guy, the one that put the band together stuff for the Healing Fields. And he reached out to me online. Hey, 420 Jim, you and your cannabis, please come. And I'm not a vet. No, we want you here. It's open to the public. Please come, blah, blah, blah. He brought his sons over that night that were playing in the band, I think, to tag the motorhome. All that's on video and stuff. But then after I left, the event was over, I guess his other buddies, his clique that you'll hear about, gave him a bunch of shit about, well, why did you bring a outsider in and whatnot? Why didn't you use the First Church of Cannabis? Why wasn't they invited? Why wasn't the Stacy Thesis? Or, you know what I'm saying? They plainly say that, why in the hell am I an outsider and I don't know who I'm up against and all? But yet it was the Healing Fields MC that reached out to me when I was in Washington, D.C., headed back, calling it quits. Please come help our vets. That was Jimmy Shaw. And see, he just admitted that. So there's proof there.
Much friends with me, Desi, Bill Levin, Jerry. See, we're all in this group. See, we have our own people here.
We're all in this group. We have our own people. He mentioned the same ones. Bill Levin, Jimmy Shaw. I didn't mention Terry. She's the old owner of the smoke shop. I didn't know much about her. But his ex-wife. See, their own group, their own clique. And he's right. I didn't know that they used to be advocates or something and whatever, and I was messing with them. They're the ones that invited me to that smoke shop in the beginning and everything.
This is our group. This is our community. Okay? This is us. This man's an outsider, and he came in and got up into our group, and he had no idea who we were. Bill Levin goes way back. Okay? Desi never lost her kids. I've known Desi for over 25 years. Our kids grew up together. That girl.
What he's talking about there is, at one time, Desiree, whatever her name was, this is back when I first met her and all. I never even knew what the page bit. Her husband, Scott, he was never around or nothing. Back then, he had his security company. The first couple of years, the only time that I ever really talked with Scott, which he lies and said my dog was in his lap. What a liar. There's no one that knows my dog, Jack. There's not one person on that internet that will tell you that knows Jack or has ever seen Jack in anyone's lap. That just don't happen. It don't happen. And when he said that, and I got his recording, see, he's trying to get this lady on his side. This is the lady that hit me with her car in Topeka, Kansas. The one that come after me and what a bad guy I was. The one that drug up all my records and this, that, and the other. This is her and the phone calls that she sent me. Damn it, I did that again by mistake. Hang on. These are the things she sent me. Doggone it.
He took some private stuff and he posted it. Public pictures aren't there. See, I knew who his daughter is. See, when my daughter got put up, I went and found his daughter. Now I have paged and burned that fucking RV down. That's why she'd be disappointed.
Oh, that's totally different one. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. I need to get back to the.
Hey, Rhonda. First kids. So when her and I got together, that was 4 kids, and our kids grew up together. So it was like they got to call their best for the research that you're doing. My tower is broke down. It's at a friend of mine. Jim's BS doesn't trigger me because.
Doggone it! I got to be a bit more careful doing that.
You would understand.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go make videos instead of doing a live with these. It's going to be so much easier and better that way. I will just go through and I'll make a video. But this kind of gives you a little, just a little taste of the healing pills. They don't see it as a smoking gun, but to all my people that know me and all the followers back in the day and whatnot, anybody had doubts, when they hear these phone calls and stuff, they're going to know the real truth. And that's the only thing I really, really, really care about. I would like to hear from the healing pills. I'd like for them, once I get the videos all done, I'm going to send them to them. I would like for them to just, let's bygones are bygones. I get my membership, my good status back, whatever, and we're all cool. Other than that, yeah, I guess I will have to take them to court because they're a corporation. I look at them like Walmart. You're not going to smear my name and stuff and have a veteran put me through all kinds of hell. My dad was a vet. My granddad was a vet. I'm not a vet, never claimed to be. I support our vets, but I will stand up to a bad one. Yes, I will. And this is a real bad one that's making all the other veterans look bad. So he needs to stop. He swears all this time he wasn't doing nothing, and I got all the proof in the world that he's still doing it up to just this week alone. So he hasn't stopped. He lies when he says that Shirley Berlin hasn't got nothing to do with it. And I'm going to play a phone call where he admits that Shirley Berlin's daughter even was involved in it. And who knows how much more and who else they talked to and all. This is just things he sent to a lady to get her upset at me so they could get this fake research and stuff. But I need to do it in the videos and stuff, and that way I won't tap the phone and mess it up and stuff. And I think it'd be better that way. I can send video 1, 2, 3, and 4. So be looking out for them, my friends. Be looking out for them. Hey, it's all about peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand, and if we try, we can all get along. And these videos, they're not going to be in any such order. I'm playing them as she sent them to me. I don't know if one happened the day before, if they happen all the same day, whatever. But there's actually a couple hours of him talking to her and telling her what a great help she is, and all about stalking and doing what they did to me and everything. And like I say, I wouldn't have these recordings had she not found out the truth and wanted to come to public, the truth. She wants the truth to come to public. And if you go look at what they say about her now, because you listen to these phone calls, oh, I love you, you're helping us, you're this and that. They did the same thing to her here shortly that they did to me in the beginning. When he says he's smart, he's conniving, and he's all kinds of things. Mr. Scott Winslow Albert is, but he's not very smart. He likes to brag and talk about himself and stuff, and he just put himself, Mr. Prophet, and that organization on the line. And he's going to tell you in one phone call about the court case with Bill Levin. Yeah, okay, come on, because he did nothing but lie in that phone call too. He says the judge didn't like the way I was dressed, the way I looked, this, that, and that. Yeah, I want that judge to hear that video. He said the judge threw the case out. That's a bald-faced lie. Nope, I asked the judge to dismiss the case without prejudice so I could refile. But yet, he's gotten telling her, like I say, he's trying to excite this lady to dig up information and defame me and stuff, which she was doing. And this is how he got her to do it. These phone calls that I'm playing. Now she come forward and wants to let you and me and everyone know how sorry she is and how she was trapped. So that's what these videos are about. I'm going to label them. This one will be video one, the story, and then y'all have already heard half the tape. But of course, I'm going to have to start it over, whatever. Then there'd be the number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. Number 1 happened to be about the healing fields. Like I say, I don't think she sent them to me in any particular order. Damn. The one, number 6 one was... his old lady keeps it under control because of Rhonda. There's all kinds of stupid things in that one. That actually is the one where he says he don't believe in Jesus. That's in tape number 6. Number 5. It's hard for me to read my own notes. But they talk about the Topeka incident, how they called the TV and the police department and intervened in them investigations. Oh, yeah. I did make a call to the Topeka Police Department. I haven't got a call back, and I may not, but I did leave a message asking for a return call from the chief of police sometime. I want to make sure that they get the YouTube updates because this is going to be very interesting. Peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand, and if we try, we can all get along. My dogs, Jack and Milu, love you. I love you, and Jesus loves you. I'll see you at 420 for a live. Other than that, watch out for the videos. Peace out.